So we are now officially live on the Book of Face, and we're live on YouTube too. So you can check us out on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we would love that you would do that, because that's a kind of cool thing. I'm monitoring our YouTube channel, and Lisa is monitoring our Facebook channel.
Hi, Liz.
So feel free to join in and say hi.
Hi, Stephanie. If anybody wants a card, just let me know and I'll write your names down and off we go.
Oh yeah, you got the paper. I forgot to bring my paper over.
You need to put it over there. But
I did. I can
keep
do that.
Track. I keep the order and I keep the names, and then if somebody asks a particular thing, I write the subject.
All right then. And I can tell how many people are chat rate too. Somebody's chatting with us. I don't
Somebody's
know.
chatting with you?
Well, apparently. So
Well,
I don't know. Well,
I can't monitor
somebody's
yours.
liked it and chatted with us.
Hi, John. How are you? I think it's almost time for your birthday. I think you're a Sag, John, if I remember right. Most of the time I remember people's birthdays before I remember their name. All right, Stephanie T. would love a card. Anita. All right, and Brenda. Okay, so I'm just going to jump in and do Stephanie.
Hello, Michelle. Michelle's joined us on the Tube of You.
All right. Well, Stephanie, your card is the Queen of Cups. So this is about paying really close attention to things. You can see that she's really holding that chalice very closely and really looking at all the details. So if you're not a Virgo, Stephanie, it's time to act like one. And don't let anything get by you. Sometimes I tell people that this card is about not getting taken advantage of, like not getting duped.
It's my Scorpio card.
Yeah, it's the Scorpio card, but I think that it has to do with you really paying attention to detail and not letting anybody get anything over on you. All right, so Anita would like a card for the new year. Do you want to do that one?
I could do Anita a card for the new year.
Stephanie is a Virgo. All right, well, there's something to this psychic stuff. So just put your Virgo hat on, Stephanie, and take care of the details.
There's nothing to this. What are you talking about? Page of Pentacles.
Oh, she has a bright year to look forward to.
I love this. I love this card. This really is... there's masses of untapped potential there. Look, this plowed field. This says it all. So, and we've got this potential to actually raise a few shekels, it has to be said. So, bit of creative thinking required. Got to think outside of the box. But there's nothing you can't do.
And a positive attitude is really important.
Positive attitude is key, but there is nothing you can't do. So this is a very, very good, promising card. I think this is an extremely positive card for you for the coming year. So enjoy. Just think, realize potential. Got to get those three things though. You need your idea, you've got to have your plan, and you've got to act on your plan. It's not going to do it all by itself, all right?
All right.
All right.
So next up is Brenda. And Brenda said she has some health issues coming up and she'd like to know what the next 6 months are going to be like.
Could you write down GL on the list? Or I could do that.
GL?
GL.
Okay. Do they have a focus?
Yeah,
GL?
just what spirit feels.
Okay. So this is for Brenda and this is her health thing. The Hierophant is the great teacher. And there has to be this kind of balance between... passion and drive and like force, as well as that calming kind of soothing energy. So I think this is a lesson for you regarding recovery and not being too hard on yourself, and at the same time doing what people say, getting up, walking, whatever the instructions are.
No pain, no gain.
And I also think that it's saying you're going to have valuable time to learn things, because again, the Hierophant is the great teacher, and the Hierophant can also be about volunteer work, like work that you wouldn't get paid for in financial ways, but work that you might very, very well get paid for in spiritual ways. So I think you're going to have some recovery time, be kind to yourself, and learn all that you can. That's Brenda. And she said the Hierophant she sees as Taurus, and she's a Taurus. So
there you go.
All right. So
It's all getting very earthy.
Liz B is next, and she doesn't have a question, just whatever Spirit wants to say.
42.
42, that's the answer to the universe.
Actually, joking apart, it's sort of similar. I don't know. I feel somehow you're too close to something to get the perspective you need right now. And it's almost like, me saying to you, hey, Liz, look at this beautiful forest. And going, what forest? I've got this like tree thing in front of me. I can't see a forest. What am I supposed to do? I think sometimes you can get too close to a problem and you need to like step back a little bit to give you a bit of perspective. And I think what's being called upon for you to do here, quite literally, is climb a hill. Mentally, spiritually, and physically. Because by doing so, I think it's going to get you out of that sort of place where you're stuck. It's going to get you to clear air so you can see better. And that elevated perspective, I think, is going to bring your problems down to scale, so they're not so overwhelming and
get on top of things. Yeah.
So you've got that beautiful perspective where you can see, oh yeah. And this is a really, really good. I love threes. And this 3 of Wands, and we see, oddly enough, there are 3 ships come sailing in. And that's not a bad thing, it has to be said.
Yeah, Liz says, step outside the box. Absolutely. And don't forget the tools that are in the box when you do it, right? You have a lot of knowledge, a lot of intelligence, a lot of ways to be able to look at things. So it's okay to step outside the box and remember the tools you got in it.
There you go. Oh, well, you answered your own question then. So anyway, off you go then, climb a hill.
So Liz from the UK, hello.
Oh, Liz, how are you?
Yeah.
She's in Churchstoke, I remember it well. We found our log basket we had at the cottage and we brought it in and we love it.
Yes.
So we're happy.
All right,
yes.
so Alicia,
John Aiken.
You want to put
I
John?
didn't know about John. I'm sure my wife does, but you're a new subscriber here. Well, thank you for subscribing, John. We do appreciate that very much.
All right, so next we have Alicia, and she just said whatever Spirit has to tell her.
And Berry Cheryl would like a card for health.
Berry Cheryl.
Berry Cheryl. It's good to be Berry Cheryl. I could screw that name up spectacularly.
So this is for Alicia.
Oh.
And this is about finding some time for solitude. So a lot of times we live in this hurry up, get it done yesterday kind of atmosphere. And we've got all these different things going on, whether it's school or family or, work or tons of things, all these responsibilities. And I always like to remind people that he's not dead, he's meditating. So sometimes you have to just find a little time to take some deep breaths and let yourself go within. I see the 3 swords hanging over you as challenges or responsibilities or things that you care very, very much about and that you may have some hard time.
I know who Berry Cheryl is now.
Some hard time relaxing, but try to relax and let yourself find something good in there. All right. Okay, I've got Laura C, and I've got Liz, and you are up with GL.
Okay. Let's see.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Happy Thanksgiving, Christopher. All right, this is for GL.
Yeah, so a bit topsy-turvy at the moment, but, I feel it. I feel it too. I think we're all there, But you have this... excuse me. You have this ability, I think, to really cope well with chaos, and some might say perhaps you almost thrive on it. It's you've got this ability to stand on one leg, juggle, peel an orange in your pocket with boxing gloves on, keep plates on a stick, etc., etc. I think the only trouble is, whilst you're very good at making adjustments as necessary, I think your life's a bit too reactive at the moment. And you're sort of dealing with things on a, run around and put out fires. Maybe a bit of time spent on fire prevention might be a good move for you here. Because whilst you're managing, it's hardly a comfortable situation that you're in right now. It's very topsy-turvy and up and down and all over the place. So if you were to, just chill a little bit and put a bit of time into fire prevention, I think that'll put you in real good stead. All right. So yeah, a bit of planning. Bit of planning is good. You've got this. You can manage, no problem at all. But if you try to work your plan a bit better, I think you'll do better here. So time spent on planning is not time wasted. All right.
All right. That was GL.
Yes.
I have Liz S.
Liz S.
Liz S wants love relationship.
That's our Liz, though.
That's
isn't
our
it?
Liz.
That's
Stokes.
our Liz.
Yes.
Our Liz. I remember our Liz. She's
Oh.
lovely.
Oh, Liz.
Oh no. Now what have you done? What have you done now?
Well,
Well, no arguments there then.
again, I think that this for you is about communication issues. All right. So the tower's not all bad because we can see that those little droplets are enlightenment. So, with every bad thing or negative thing or a disturbing thing, upsetting thing, destructive thing that happens, we have to find the lesson or the truth in it or the reason behind it. And I know that it's, a new age cliche, everything happens for a reason. But sometimes that really is the truth. So if you've had a really difficult time communicating with someone, maybe it's because they just really aren't on your wavelength. And maybe they just couldn't change their frequency to get there. So my advice for you is relax about it. Don't worry about naming, blaming, shaming, or, staying in the negative part of it. Just maybe recognize that you've done an awful lot of work and that you've kind of raised your vibration, you've raised your frequency, and now it might be difficult for people to meet you there. So I'm not, again, this is not about naming, blaming, or anything like that, but I think that the work that has to be done now is trying to recognize what the other person is saying. Like miscommunication happens a lot. Someone says A and you hear B, and you say B and they hear A, and it just, there's some sort of miscommunication that's at the root of it, but both could learn really deep lessons if they wanted to listen. All right.
So I have a John Aitken and I have a Berry Cheryl, who is Cheryl Rebecca, by the way.
Okay.
I don't know if John wants a card, but he says...
No, I don't think so, but... Because he
Okay.
was over here and I said hello to
He's
the
over
side
there.
or whatever. Okay.
He's over there. He's
I
over
believe
there.
that you're up next with Berry Cheryl for health.
I know who this one is.
Well, you don't have to out anyone. You can just do it.
I just know. Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands. This is a really actually good card, and it's about so listen. I know enough about Feng Shui to be moderately dangerous. I would hardly consider myself to be some kind of Feng Shui master, but I do know a house on a hill with a river running past is an extraordinarily good omen. And this is not just a house, this is actually a palace or something like that. So this is, pretty darned good, really. And aces are pivotal. And so we're holding this, and you can see all of the yod around here, which is all about enlightenment. So it's about using your smarts, and you've got loads of those. So you'll be all right. Use your smarts, follow, your best practices, and you're going to be absolutely bloody fine. You really are. Better than fine. I think somehow there's although you can't see it right now, there's a silver lining to this, and I think it's going to come out way better than you thought.
I have to also interject because she did ask a health question. She said to focus on health.
And I think things are going to come out a lot better health-wise.
Yeah, but I also think because it's such a phallic-looking symbol, that I think there's stuff connected to maybe her cycle and hormones and other things that are also going to need to kind of come into a new rhythm.
Right then. Well, that's down to you then.
No, that's all I had to say.
All right.
Sorry, I like to interject.
She interjects about everything.
I do. Happy Thanksgiving, Patricia. All right. And Christopher, you said Happy Thanksgiving, hi guys, or whatever. If you want a card, just let me know. I'll put you on the list. So the next is Laura C.
That'll be
I guess
you.
that's my turn then.
It's your turn. I'll try not to interject.
Right. Oh, but look what I have. All right, Laura. So, I feel like this has to do with real estate for you.
I love it.
And let's not worry about what we said to the other person. This is for you.
It's not a phallic symbol in your case, apparently.
I feel like this has to do with real estate, buying and selling of property, or making some sort of investment for financial security. And I think that you're going to do really, really well. That I want to say there might be someone whose name begins with a B that has some sort of information for you, either regarding like 401k or some kind of plan, SBA loan, whatever it is you're working on. There's some sort of sense for financial security and living arrangement security, and there may be buying and selling of a property. So that's what I have for you. All right.
Fascinating,
You get
Captain.
Susan Smith.
Susan Smith. Hello, Susan Smith. Let's see what... Is there an area of focus?
No. This was just, I'd love a reading.
All right, Susan. Worrying is manifestation in reverse, my dear. Okay, it really is. It's like it's planning a route to where you don't want to be there. Oh, and oh god, oh no, and that, and then that can, oh, and that, and you're just like mapping your way to be exactly where you don't want to be. So I know this is hard, and I know there's an awful lot eating at you at the moment, and I get that, I do. But you've got to try and change your focus, and if you focus on, because honestly, what you focus on comes into focus. It really is that simple. There's no crazy secret about it. So if you focus on, worries and stresses and stuff, that's where you're going to be. But there's a wonderful flip side to this, and that is if you can change your focus onto what's right and what's positive, it will start to ever so slowly, insidiously move you in the right direction. And if you struggle with that, what I would suggest is, things always work out better than you were expecting. Yeah? Try and take yourself like 20 minutes past what you've been worrying about and know that it turned out better than you were expecting. And just these little baby steps, I think, will try and move you from that state of sort of angst into a more positive way. Yeah? I think I could talk for hours on this, but we don't have hours, so I better not really.
No, I don't have too much time.
I'll shut up.
All right, so I'm up next with Christopher.
How about it? There's more people joining us on the Tube of You as we speak.
All right,
it's
well, if you
cool.
have any more questions, people, let me know.
Shout if you would like a question.
This is for Christopher. So, yeah, I think you are also getting to the next step. It's interesting because everybody grows in different ways. And some people kind of grow spiritually this way, and some people kind of grow spiritually up in a spiral. And I feel like for you, it's like a step, and then a long time to digest that, and then a step, and then a long time to digest that. And I feel like you've been against the next step for long enough now that you're going to take that next leap up. And I don't know if you were working on mediumship or something that has to do with really intense work with spirit, but I feel like you're really going to be able to connect in the way that you want to. All right, so that's mine for Christopher. You're up next with Aaron.
Aaron, any focus?
No question, just whatever the universe
It's
is going to say.
really weird looking at the delays between
It
things.
is very weird looking at the delay because we have
YouTube is way behind.
way behind, and
Yeah.
I'm like 10, 15 seconds behind.
All right, Aaron. This card has a couple of different meanings, I think, and we want to take it into context. Oh gosh, it's actually one of the most entertaining cards I think in the deck. This one, I love this. I love the multiplicities of meanings in there. For starters, it's indicated that things are getting better, that we're moving from rough water into smooth water. But I think the one thing that's leaping out to me right now in this for you, and rather than witter on forever, I'll cut straight to the chase. I don't know if you can see, we're a fair distance away, but we're using a big deck. These three groups of trees on the horizon, on the shoreline there, these are something known as dolmen, D-O-L-M-E-N. And they're a navigational feature. They were like a crop of trees, I'm sorry, planted in a very prominent position, so they literally stood out like a sore thumb. And this is how, in our earliest prehistory, if you will, our earliest ancestors navigated from settlement to settlement. There were no roads, there were no maps. So I think what's being indicated here, I sense there's an internal disquiet within you, and things would be so much better if, so much better if maybe if I lived in a different country, if I did, set myself up somewhere else and did something. But wherever you are, honestly, there you are. You're there too. And I think the key with you is there needs to be more focus on direction. Because if you don't know where you're going, any bloody road will take you there. So I really feel that maybe a reevaluation as we move into the new year for you. Sit down, do the paper exercise. What makes you tick? What do you really, really want? Because I sense, there's this internal disquiet, and I think if you spend a bit of time really getting to know you and what it is that fills you, I think you'll start to, as I said, move from the troubled waters into the smooth waters. So all in all, this is good. But I think there's a bit of direction being indicated to you, or working out where you're going, yeah?
All right. So hi to Shelley and hi to Lois. And if either of you want a card, just let me know. So next up is John. He decided he does want a card.
Well,
So
there you go.
let's see what he's going to get. I'm going to shuffle them around again.
Ooh.
They're so big, they're wild to try to...
I would love them almost life-size. I think that could be really
All
cool.
right. Lois says, yes, it sounds very familiar. So I'll say again, I usually say this in the beginning of the online tea, that whoever shows up is usually there for a reason. And even if your card isn't the one being talked about, you might benefit from some of the information from someone else's card. So kind of like we create this little spiritual group to do this divination. So hang in there and listen to what's being said for others. So this is for John. I'm going to say that this is about control, but it's not a bad thing. This is about finding the things that you can control and working on those. And the things that are out of your control, taking a deep breath and trying not to feel responsible for the things that are out of your control. I just get the feeling that you do everything with all of your heart. So some of the things that are beyond you may be really, really getting to you, And I know this has been a really tough year. So do the little things, even if it's something completely stupid like organizing your sock drawer.
That's practical.
Something that you have complete control over and that you can feel good when you're done. And then the things that are completely beyond your control, recognize that you can't change that by yourself. It's okay to love, it's okay to worry, it's okay to do your absolute best, but if something is beyond your control, you have to let it be. But I do see you taking up and taking care of the things that are within your control. So that's John.
There you go.
Next is David B.
Hello, David B. Does David B have a focus?
No.
Okay.
I write it down if they do, and I will tell
Well,
you.
thank you. Well, you have to keep reminding me things. The Lovers.
Ooh.
Interesting card, this, because again, there are multiple layers to this card. Okay, Renee.
I got her.
Okay, perfect.
I'm watching you go.
She's watching my screen now as well.
I'm collecting all the names.
She's being very organised, unlike me. So, yeah. God, what can I tell you here? what can I tell you? I don't know.
You're having a block? You want me to do it?
Yeah, just there's something there, and it's just eluding me on the surface. It's
All right. So this is for David.
right.
This is the Gemini card.
Yeah.
So again, it's kind of about
Two minds.
communication, because Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And this card, even though it's called the Lovers, isn't necessarily regarding a love relationship.
Yeah, I feel that too.
It's more about your relationship with the thoughts that you have, or your relationship to what you think and what you say. I feel like I'm not, trying to patronize, but David, I feel like you're above average intelligence, and remembering that half the people are below average intelligence is very difficult, especially these days. So I think that it's okay to think whatever you want, and then be mindful of what you actually say. When we get to a certain place in our lives, we just want to slap people silly and
No, don't do that.
Share from Moonstruck, snap out of it. But David, I think you have to go back into your healing mode and try to only speak words that will calmly heal people, and maybe you just have to recognize that you're, it's mean to say, but you might be a little bit above some of the people that just don't get it, and they just can't get it. So you're going to have to step down to their level.
Before you, thanks for stepping in for me there. Before we finish up with you, what I was trying to say, what I was trying to search for, and I got this sort of picture in my head, which is exactly what's going on in this card. But again, I don't feel this is something to do with an interpersonal love relationship. But I do feel it's an interpersonal relationship that we've got going on here, and it's yeah. Sometimes people grow like this, sometimes they grow like this, sometimes they grow like this. And I think what's going on is, you've almost got this would be you here playing the role of Eve, if you will, or Eve is playing your role. And it's almost like you need to know what makes things happen. What you want to bite that apple. You want the knowledge. You want the ON. And here's the other side of the equation. It's like, why'd you have to do that now? Like, he set fire to all the trees and we've got to leave. We're getting thrown out of here and we was happy and all that sort of stuff. And that's what I feel is going on. And I was struggling to try and put that into words, if that makes sense. But I think Lisa rather eloquently has said that far better than I. So I think yeah, it's hard sometimes when you really want to desperately choke somebody to death for their highest good. But yeah, try and find the higher ground there, if that makes sense. Yes.
All right.
All
so
right.
Next up, I have Shelley.
All right.
Ooh, the Chariot.
Time for a new motor.
No, you know what? I think this is for Shelley. I don't think it's necessarily a new car, but Anton thinks you're going to get a new car.
It's being flippant.
I think this is also, in a sense, about control. But this is about you getting back in the driver's seat. When you are head of something, when you're the director or the manager or the lead person, and you've played that role for a very long time, when you've been the person who's managing all the pieces and getting things all together. Oh, she says I am getting a new car, laugh out loud.
Oh, well, there you go.
When you're the person who's used to putting all the pieces together, making sure everything works smoothly, and sometimes it's really, really hard to get back into that when you've had some time off. So I don't know if you lost your job with the pandemic, or you've just not had to be on so much. But I feel like this new year is going to start bringing you back to that position of running things. wearing a bunch of hats, organizing everything, putting puzzle pieces together, and getting people to cooperate. So literally this is about you getting back in the driver's seat. And I think that'll help you. And I do know that you're an Aquarian, and we're just natural bosses. So you just got to get back there.
I love it.
All right.
And remember the Jamaican wisdom, we run ting, ting nor run we.
So I have,
Yes.
I've been adding people to the list.
Well, this is
have,
good. I'm glad you're...
I have everybody, don't worry, I've got you all, and your turn will come. So next is Lois.
Yes.
You're up for Lois.
Any focus?
Just what Spirit has to tell her.
All right, then. Enlightenment. Interesting, this card. In the Crowley Thoth deck, this is actually the universe. And so this figure we have here, this is perhaps the culmination of the Fool's Journey, but it's not really a culmination. It's just that here we are. The needles return to the start of the song, and we sing along as before. Only this time we modulated. We've gone up a key, if you will.
Modulation.
Yes, modulations are good. We like that. It's muso speak. But so if you think about when you see the High Priestess towards the beginning of the journey, she's seated between two pillars, black and white pillars, with the B and the J on them, Boaz and Yakin, the pillars of severity and mercy, form and force, etc., which are the polar opposites. And here they've been homogenized, and she herself has actually become that center pillar here. And she's also harnessed the four fixed signs of the zodiac, which is the name of God, Yahweh Vedway, in the heavens. So all in all, it's pretty good. But now you've got to do something with all of these learning experiences that you've endured. You've got to take that learning experience and translate that into knowledge and begin the next cycle. Because we ain't there yet. we got another few laps to go. So, But what is it they say? Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. So, it's a journey. And there's still a long way to go. So I bid you, in Welsh, Hwyl fawr, may you journey well. Well.
Oh, Shelley said if Santa's watching, she'd love the smoky quartz. No, these aren't for sale.
No.
these
Sorry.
are our little pieces. That's funny.
They're pet rocks.
There are pet rocks, yeah. And this is rainbow. Sorry, no, it's not. It's gold sheen obsidian. All right, and then everybody knows rose quartz. But shameless plug. We did go rock shopping.
You
would
have
not
some really
believe
nice pieces.
how many crystals we have now. I think we have over 120 different ones. Plus we have all kinds of shapes and sizes, and a whole case of just this is for Desiree. Just fluorite, a rose quartz and a fluorite and all that kind of stuff. All right. This is for Desiree, and she said she'd like some insight. So, swords in the tarot are struggle, but struggles don't lead to bad things. Struggles many times lead to good things, right? If a child doesn't push their way out into the world, they're never going to have a life. So for you, Desiree, I think this is about recognizing that even though you can feel these cold swords against your back, that there aren't any swords in front of you. Right? So you might be struggling, you might feel blindsided, you might feel imprisoned in some way, but you're really not. In fact, there's a little trickle trying to show you, walk forward, there's a way forward, there's no swords in front of you. Leave the struggle behind you, leave the struggle behind you. So I think for you, you might be caught in a place of struggle where it doesn't need to stay as a struggle. And I know, easy for me to say, right? But kind of along the lines of what I was saying to John before, pick your battles. Can you control this? No. Then step away from it, because it's going to try to kill you. Next battle. Can I win this battle? absolutely go at it with all you've got. So figure out which direction you want to go. Make a list of things that you need to get there and how you're going to get there, and give it all you've got and step away from the struggle. Sometimes we get so used to that cold steel that we forget there's a nice warm blanket in another place. So for you, Desiree, step forward. Christopher says that he moved to North Carolina and he misses the awareness shop. Well, you can always go online. And no, it's not the same, but
you know what? We could all do Zoom shopping for you.
We could do Zoom shopping for you, Christopher. And they've been making candles like mad people, so we've got tons of crystals. All right, so next up is Renee for you.
All right then. And spirit and health. Well, if you drink too many spirits, you won't have your health. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Yeah. The star card.
Awesome.
Is she an Aquarian too?
I don't think Renee's Aquarius. No.
This is the Aquarian card.
It is.
It absolutely
Yep,
is.
I've got you on the list, Kim.
I love this. I love this card. It's full of like the whole tarot is full of layers and layers and layers of meaning. But I think with this one, I think what you're being asked to do at the moment is more sort of not just go with the flow, but be the flow. To actually be that vessel, that mechanism that transports the energy, that facilitates the exchange of energy, that brings about a good flow of energy. I know this sounds really weird and it's probably very Aquarian in the description of it, but it's not. It's hard to sort of put this into words, but it's not just going with the flow, it's being that flow. It's making sure, being the circuit, being the connector, making sure that things go and aren't stuck. And I think you have a brilliant ability to do that, and I think you're being called upon to actually do that. And I think listen to a little bit of that innate wisdom that lies within you. You know you're an old soul. You don't need me to tell you that. So stop second guessing yourself a little bit and really sort of focus on that innate wisdom that you have there, and be the flow, and it's gonna bring amazing change, good, real, positive change. So have at it, kid. That's my 2 cents. That was the weirdest reading I think I've ever given, ever.
There's this theme. I think there's this theme tonight.
There is,
of that energy of being pent up and wanting to get back to normal, whatever that is. Because most of us that are here know that normal's just a setting on your dryer.
Well.
But I think that we've all, spiritual people is what I'm talking about. People who have this empathy and this intuition and wisdom. We've all really want to help people, and it's been very, very difficult to even be social, let alone interact on a deeper level like we'd like to. And I kind of feel this this energy coming, and I really do look forward to the things that are happening astrologically coming up. That new moon and solar eclipse that's coming December 14th. The week after that, we have solstice with the grand conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. There's just a lot of little events that are coming that I think are really going to make a big difference towards us getting back to our true work. And I had been writing taroscopes every month since 1998.
You took a bit of a hiatus, though, to be fair.
This year, I think I wrote in March, and then I don't think I wrote any for, since then. Because every time I went to look, it just got like stupider and stupider and harder to talk about what was going on. And I also, very political on my private page, but I didn't want to be political on the shop's page because I try to keep that kind of Neptune's going direct too. Yes, I kind of try to keep the shop, happy and light. But I will let you all know that I have written tarot scopes for December.
Yes.
So they're already on the Karma Points receipts, and they will be posted. I think they're up on the website.
Yes,
On
yes,
the
they're
Awareness
on.
Shop's
Yep, they're
website,
on the
yep.
Awareness Shop's website. So yeah, if you
And,
go to awarenessshop.com, all 3 S's together.
Yeah. So you can go read them. And there was actually some good news for people.
Good news is good.
All right.
We like good news.
So
So what we got now?
now is Kim Ann.
And is it you or me?
I think it's me because you
Because
just
I
did
don't
Renee.
remember.
You did
All right.
Renee. and
Oh,
I'm doing-
Sparky. Sparky says greetings. Hello, Sparky. If you'd like a
Sparky.
card, just ask
All
for
right.
one.
So this is Kim Ann. This is the card of victory.
6
So,
of Wands got to be.
yep, 6 of Wands.
There you go.
Victory. Overcoming something. Winning a battle. And living to tell about it. So I really do think for you, this is coming to a really good place within yourself and within your life. I always point out that he's riding this beautiful green blanket, and green is a symbol of wealth, and again, that kind of financial security energy, but green is also heart chakra energy, and where we see the pink part of heart chakra being our response or reaction to other people, the green part of heart chakra is our emotions that we have within ourselves, how we know things, not influenced by others. So I feel like you're winning some inner battles with yourself and your inner voice, and I feel like you're really coming into a place where you can trust what you know and what you feel. Okay.
You got 2 more. So we've got Sparky would like a card. No
Okay.
particular question. And Kathleen.
All right, so you are up with Jamie.
Okay. Anything for Jamie?
Nope.
Excuse me. Well, let's see what we can see. Oh, Sparky would like to know about love.
All right, I'll write that down.
King of Swords. I just noticed 2 birds there. I've not seen that in this one before. I mean, I know they're there, but they've just jumped out at me.
Well,
which
whatever
is-
jumps out. You
So
can-
that's kind of important, those 2 birds. Ooh. I feel that somehow...
Yeah, I got you, Patricia.
I feel somehow this is... Well, I'll tell you who this guy is to me in the deck. I mean, I assume you're familiar with the Old Testament parable of King Solomon, who was reputedly the wisest and most esteemed person, renowned for his good judgment. And what it was, two women came before his court, each claiming with one child, each claiming the child was his, was hers. And he said, cut the baby in half, give them half each. And the one woman said, "Oh no, please don't spare the child. Let the other woman have him." And he said, "Hi, you be the real mother then." And oh, well played, sir. Golf clap and all that kind of stuff. But there's more to that than that. If you think about it, yes, it's a parable, and it's about somebody who would relinquish, ownership of something to preserve that something, and that's indicative of true love. And that was his kind of idea here. And I've got also with the 2 birds, and sometimes it's about your sense of judgment and all that, but I really feel this is more to do with a matter of the heart. And I know it sounds like a horrible cliche, if you love something, let it go. If it loves you, it will come back, kind of thing. But I think you're in danger of smothering something a little too much here. And if we lose our identity in a relationship, if we become assimilated and we're not our own person, the little things can become big things, and tiny little arguments can turn into World War III almost. So I think I'm really feeling that that a magnanimous gesture of love is required here. And I think I don't want to get into the personals here, because I'm sort of picking up on stuff, and I think that the 2 birds are very telling here. All right, and birds love to fly free, but that doesn't mean they're going to fly apart. They're together. Sorry.
All right.
That
was Jamie.
Hello,
I'm
Jamie.
up with
All right.
Patricia. Hi, Jonathan. I've got you, Dottie. I've got you, Kathleen. We're all set.
I think we're
So,
set.
Patricia is my turn. Okay.
Hello, Patricia.
Here comes the sun. All right.
Doing all right?
Yeah.
Getting good grades?
This I feel for you is also kind of a rebirth thing. There's some things on here when we look that are a little weird. Why does this teeny tiny baby have the same feather in his cap that the fool does? And this is about a journey as well. But this is a journey where you kind of collect the good karma that you've sown along the path, right? So it's kind of like you've paid your dues, you've done the work, you've collected the knowledge, you've done the best you could with that knowledge, and now there's this like warming strength and rebirth. And I don't know if you've ever looked into the folklore of Rhiannon, the Welsh goddess Rhiannon, but her story is a lot like that, where she has status and she is subdued and she comes back. Yeah, that calumniated goddess, and she comes back and she just look up some things about Rhiannon. But I feel like this for you is about a rebirth or a reconnection to things you somehow thought you've lost, but you haven't. Okay? I don't know how that makes any sense, but there you go.
She never relinquished her sovereignty, did she?
No.
That was the
All
amazing thing.
Jamie says that absolutely speaks to them. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
I'm glad it made some sense, because I have no idea what I'm saying half the time.
You're up for Amy.
Okay. And
Love.
Love? Okay. When love comes to town, I'm going to ride that train.
Ooh.
This is a good card. This is, you know what this card is about to me? This card is about the sisterhood. And I don't know if you know much about the sisterhood. I don't, because you see...
You're not a sister.
I'm not. I have entirely the wrong equipment. I'm wired all wrong, but I'm told about it. So this is cause for celebration and close, very close... Not intimacy exactly, but
Well, this is a love question, so it looks like she's going to have something to celebrate.
Oh yeah, no, this is definitely a cause for celebration card. But I think you may be seeking counsel from the sisterhood that may help you here. Sometimes, as I said, for a totally unrelated thing with a totally different card and totally different question, sometimes we get so close to things we can't see everything, and somebody else's perspective can be really good, so long as they are somebody who is totally there for you. And that's what I mean, I guess, about the sisterhood. Not somebody there with their own agenda that doesn't entirely match you. So somebody who's a very close personal friend, I think, can help you. But this is a great cause for celebration card, so it's not a shitty card by any stretch of imagination.
All right. I'm up with Anthony.
Anthony! We got people's watching us all over the place. Right then.
I had some tough cards to give people tonight. I had the Tower, and now I've got the Ten of Swords. All right, Cindy, I'm writing you down. Anthony, I think what I'd like to look at here is his hand. He's kind of got his fingers crossed. So I feel like this has a lot to do for you with the energy of Malkuth. I don't know if you've looked at the Tree of Life or not, but there are 10 swords, and they're kind of poked in him,
aren't they?
In a Tree of Life, or almost like a chakra pattern. So to me, this is some sort of almost like being in shock about how specific things are happening, and trying to figure out how you're going to find the energy to get back up, but sometimes we really do have to rest a little bit. The key is not to just wallow in your wounds, you know. You can see that the sky is clearing,
Yeah.
right? So it might have been very dark, and you might have felt very let down, and you might have felt that your energy was just completely depleted, but the sky is changing, and you've kind of got this kind of Scout's honor thing going on. So I think that this is talking about transformation, you know. Without some sort of symbolic death of something, there can't be a resurrection or a new life. But sometimes it is really, really hard to let go of something that's been a part of you for a very long time. But sometimes you need to let go of it in order to find the strength to stand up again. So I don't see this as definitely all things are lost negative card. I think it's about willingly removing something so that you can stand back up. And I hope that makes sense. All right, Anton, you're up for Dottie.
Dottie?
Yep.
And Dottie has...
No focus, just
nothing?
whatever Spirit wants to say.
I have no focus either, as well, I'll tell you. Some days. Knight of Pentacles. Talk about potential. Talk about untapped potential.
Let's talk about potential.
Look at this. This is the plowed field literally goes from edge to edge of the picture here. So there's no question that you have a massive amount of untapped potential. There is, however, a slight issue with your motivation. So, procrastination. Top 10 reasons I procrastinate.
One.
Well, I'll get back to that later. Maybe, I don't know. No, seriously, you've got to put spurs to the horse and move forwards. And I really feel that even as I think it was Lao Tzu said that even a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But that single step is the hardest thing sometimes to do. And don't worry about thinking, oh God, I haven't got it all planned out yet. I haven't quite got it. I need to get my I's dotted and my T's crossed and all that sort of stuff. Okay, fine. But, you know, this is not a fire and forget scenario. This is a test and adjust. If things aren't quite going right, you adjust. But you've got to start. You've got to start. If you don't start, this will remain untapped potential. So please, make a move. Put spurs to horse. Get on with it. All right.
Keek 'em. All right. I have Sparky.
All right.
Sparky wants
Sparky's
a love
love.
question. Did you get any more? I just didn't look.
Not
over
seeing.
Okay.
But
How are you for battery? Because
I'm good.
almost
I'm good.
out.
Do you need? Okay. I'm
do.
good. I'm 98%.
If you could give me a little.
I can juice you up.
All
No
right.
problem. Sorry.
Sparky and his love question. Oh, I assume Sparky's male. I don't know why.
I don't know. I think Sparky's female looking at. I don't know. Who knows? Sparky, and that's wonderful.
Sparky and a love question with the Ace of Wands.
Swords. Swords.
All right. So swords are new beginnings. And I think that that's where you're at. I think there's going to be some sort of coming together of two nations or two kingdoms or two energies. So I do think there is a union happening. And I do think that, well, you see there's two different...
Well, yeah, and the crown,
Yep.
that thing there, yeah.
So we see these are on the Tower card too, these little droplets of light. They're on several different cards, but they're Yud, they're enlightenment. So I feel like
says
this...
she's female, just so you know.
Oh, well, it really doesn't matter anyway. I feel like there's going to be some new information coming in, a deeper communication, and a really strong union. And this card also, I feel, talks about wintertime. So you may find that, December, January, February are when this energy is really building. But if you're already in a relationship, then there's definitely a renewal of closeness and intimacy. And if you're talking about finding a new relationship, there is a uniting of forces, a uniting of energy, a uniting of hearts, a uniting of kingdoms. If you're already in a relationship but you don't live together, maybe you're going to move in together, that kind of thing. So see if that makes any sense to you.
Can I add 2 cents?
You said that they can.
I love this card as well. As Lisa says, there's a victorious kind of thing with a crown here. But I think the important thing for you at this stage is to realise that you are not a passenger in your life, and that it's about time you wrested back the sword of control, and that you take charge of your destiny, however that be. I mean, if we're looking for a if you're single and you're looking for the new relationship, don't imagine that the knight in shining armour is going to be delivering the pizza. You might have to go and join a fencing club, and there are sword things there. So tell your friends. But yeah, I think it's good though. It's good.
All right.
All right.
So now it's your turn, right? Because
I have no bloody
Well, I
idea.
just
You
did
did Sparky,
Sparky.
but I chimed in, didn't I?
That's fine. That's your turn.
Kay says, I miss you guys.
We miss you too. I was thinking about this the other day. I was
love
thinking
all.
about all the amazing people that we used to get together for classes, and all the wonderful work we did.
And the crazy laughter.
Um,
I miss laughter
and
in a big way.
I loved the herb class and cooking amazing things for people, and I miss people. I miss being in the annex with people.
Well, we're going to have to miss people for a little
We're going to
while
have to miss
longer.
people for quite a while longer, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
So we are doing some things on Zoom, but a lot of what we do doesn't really translate to Zoom.
I was going to say that laughter doesn't really translate on Zoom, does it?
Oh yeah, well, laughter does, but trying to give
Oh.
somebody a Reiki treatment doesn't.
Oh,
So,
no, you can't really do that.
and I have no idea how people are teaching Reiki and giving attunements over the internet, but not.
Place your forehead
not
against
my
the
gig.
screen.
All right, so you're up next with Kathleen.
Sparky says, love it much, thank you. Sparky, you're so welcome. You really are. That's why we
Kathleen.
love doing it. Kathleen, anything for Kathleen?
No.
Okay. Let's see what we can see.
Oh, haha.
There's a theme tonight.
There's a theme
There's a
tonight
theme
about
tonight.
growth and rebirth and.
Before we get into your stuff here, let's talk about these reoccurring themes. Sometimes a lot of people, and we can tell by the number of people that are actually watching here, there are quite a few, how should we say, lurkers, for want of a better word, who just want to hang and hear what's going on, but really don't want to ask a question or whatever, and
That's fine.
It's totally fine. But we have learned over the years of doing this, wild stuff happens, and that it's almost like there's a theme or a recurring theme that occurs throughout
people
the
connect
night,
to the
don't
vibe
they?
of what's
Yeah.
happening in that spirit energy. Like when I would teach a past life regression class, the people that came to that had some sort of connection. Now, obviously, they knew they were coming to the same type of class, and everybody who's coming to Tea Party knows they're coming to a divination thing. But there's a theme with each of these that we do, and this one really seems to be about regeneration.
Renewal, yeah. And it's really weird because we move into winter, and without winter there cannot be a spring. Without death there can be no life. The stuff that doesn't serve us anymore, that has outlived its usefulness. Now is the time to get rid, And yeah, this is a scary card. But by the same token, the light is coming back. And I think right now, this is a very, very scary time. Sorry. Hold it so people can see.
Right, it's just they're showing the rose quartz.
I'm sorry, it's a
all
lovely
good.
rose quartz, though. I'm sorry, I always
all
get this
good.
right. All right.
So
Now,
it's-
what were we talking
the
about?
light is
All
coming back.
Yeah,
She wants
so
to see
so
it.
the light, you can see on this card that there's that old adage, and it's always darkest just before dawn, which is a complete lie, because we have something called the morning nautical twilight. It's actually starting to get light before dawn, but it's always like coldest. It's always like the night is at its very longest it's been. It's almost like as we move to Yule and the birth of the sun, where it's getting colder and darker, and the days are so short, and then we have that promise of light coming back. And I think this is what this card's speaking about right now. And I think for you, things are pretty scary right now and very worrying, but the light is returning, okay? And we'll get through this. That's the important thing to remember. to know, to keep your focus on that rebirth, that renewal, yeah, that regeneration. And I think, if anything, the fact that this card so rarely comes up, and it's come up twice so far this evening.
And we've had like the sun, we've had the tower, we've had all of these cards that are about like pulling something down and rebuilding it. And you know, the messages really are for everyone, right? We've been through, each of us have been through a tremendous amount of stuff in this year, 2020. Yeah. You know,
it's been a doozy.
When we came into 2020, we talked about things like 2020 being perfect vision, and we were going to see things, and we were going to be enlightened, and we were going to understand things. And yep, we learned a lot. But boy, did we have to really look at some ugly things in order to really see inside them.
It's darkest just before dawn, or it's you know, it's most perilous just before dawn. You know, where we're dead beat. The night is drug on and drug on and drug on, and but now we've got that brightness. And we were talking. Oh, you were talking. You said that this is really. This is the final tick before we sort of move into at the solstice,
right?
Properly, the age of Aquarius, right?
Right. So that's what I was going to say. Look at all that we've been through, and now we're, you know, we've dug through the vile, horrible stuff, and I think the energy is somewhat like when a slingshot is being pulled back, right? There's tension. There's more tension. Now there's fear and tension. Now I really feel that I'm stretching all I can possibly stretch. Oh, you know? And then when it finally has that rebirth or that regeneration, it flies forward past all of that and reaches way further than it was when it was started to be pulled back. And I think for me, that's what this, the energy that's building right now, we're being pulled right now back with fear and stress and worry and all the dark garbage that we learned about people.
Interesting times. I
think a lot of us saw some really not good things with people that we really thought were wonderful people, and with it, hold on a minute.
Sort of an ugly side.
Whoa,
all of a sudden.
You know? So we've purged maybe some things too. Yeah, and so. We really are, yes, absolutely, Shelley, coming into the age of Aquarius. So what Anton was talking about, the tick on the clock, if you think of I'm going to throw out a lot of words here, but the precession of the equinox is like a 2,000 year period of time where we have an age, right? We have the age of Aries, we have the age of Pisces, and now we're moving into the age of Aquarius. And in 1960 they said, okay, age of Aquarius, here we go. But that last second on the clock, instead of that, imagine it being 60 years. If you looked at the clock face as 2,000 years, this last tick is 60 years. So we're having a grand conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius on solstice day, and those two planets have not been together in Aquarius since the 1400s.
That's a while,
right?
Yeah.
So the grand conjunction of Jupiter and Aquarius happens once every 20 years, and in 200-year blocks it moves through the elements. So we had the last grand conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in Taurus in 2000. And now we're moving into the air signs, and we're going to have that first conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius on solstice day. So that's a huge astrological thing that I feel is going to be a huge turning point. And is it going to get better instantly? No, it took 60 years for us to get where we are. Think about all of the things that have happened in humanity in this past 60 years. You know, civil rights, gay rights, Social Security. There's so much stuff, SSI I meant, that's going on for humanity, just in the United States, but globally, there's been a huge shift in those 60 years. So now we do have that last tick. Welcome to the age of Aquarius. Absolutely. I'm on a soapbox now. And
We'll get around to finishing reading in a bit, I promise.
Well, no, this is
actually surprisingly relevant for you. So
it is. It's like, again, another rebirth, another chance, another opening, another hello, So I think that we are going to experience some amazing things in the next 200-year block when we're working through the air signs.
Oh yeah, because we'll be around for all of that.
But this next 20 years especially, because what we're setting off on solstice is expansion. Right, you think about words for Jupiter: expansion and benefit. And then we put in Saturn's words, which are time and karmic energy.
Right.
So we're going to start to reap what we've sown in these past 60 years over the next 20.
Some good, some bad, but
yeah.
I hope we learn the humanitarian side that goes with the Aquarians, because Aquarius to me is they are the humanitarians of the zodiac.
Right.
They've got this.
Yeah.
So it looks shitty, and truth of the matter is we're in a scary situation right now.
Well, yeah, there's fear and worry, and you can. It's palpable.
This is a renewal, and it's just happening right now. The light is coming back. So hang in there, and
hang in there, because Inauguration Day on the 20th of January is actually 0 degrees Aquarius this time, instead of being the end of Capricorn. January 20th is actually 0 degrees Aquarius this year. So
we have
the inauguration is also going to happen.
Solar eclipse on the 14th of
we have
December.
A solar eclipse on the 14th in Sag.
December, not January.
Then we have, yes, a renaissance is what it is. It's a renaissance. Wonderful word for that, Shelley. And this is for you, Kathleen. Renaissance.
Renaissance, yeah,
Yep.
renewal,
Renewal.
rebirth, renaissance, rebirth. That's what it means, a rebirth. So yeah. But that means the crap has to die for you to be reborn.
Yep.
But it's good. It is good.
All right, so we have like 4 more to go.
All
Tammy, we will pull a card for you, and you'll be the last card we pull because we'll be out of time.
Kay says it's our age, Lisa, lol.
It's our age.
Own it, baby.
Somebody needs to do that song,
No, they don't. Don't do any hair here. No, don't. No.
All right, so I'm going to do Barry Cheryl's next question.
Have at
See
it
what
then.
I get there.
It's your turn.
Oh, this is also, to me, an Aquarius card. Very interesting. I use this as the Aquarius card, even though it has nothing to do with it.
You have a really strong connection to that card.
And yeah, I do. This is the Dawn, the mother of all. So this is a love question. And it's really interesting because the last card I saw for you, I thought about that kind of fertility and growth, and I said something going on with hormones and cycles, and then there's this little rabbit on this card that is also kind of that fertility and growth. And I'm going to say to you, where love is concerned, don't rule out someone much younger because of their age. Look at them through their heart and what they've been through and what they know and what they're bringing to the table, right? What are they able to offer you to help you see inside of you or see things from a different perspective? So, I know that you are a very solid person, you're a very grounded person, and you've got your ducks in a row. I would hate to see you rule someone out for a romantic relationship because they were maybe too young for your list. By that I mean, we all kind of have, I would like the person that's coming into my life to have this quality or that quality or be this or be that. And that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with trying to manifest what's highest and best for you. I would like you, though, to keep an eye out for someone who is a humanitarian, who's someone who is an environmentalist, someone who has that earthy knowledge or that spiritual knowledge. The kick is, I'm just feeling they may be a little younger than you thought they'd be, but I think they will be absolutely wonderful for you, and they may very well be an Aquarian. You never know.
Well,
All right.
Fancy that, eh?
So you're up next for Cindy LJ.
Well, Berry Cheryl also says 1/20/21 is a palindrome.
12.
No, 1/20, which is January 20th, 2021.
It's a palindrome. Frontwards, backwards.
backwards.
Abracadabra, baby. Abracadabra.
A palindrome
Just
with
like
Bolton would be not lob. Eh? No, stop the parrot thing.
Brenda Christensen is a muso, too, and she's saying she loves the bass line, let the sun in. Let the sun shine in.
Stop.
All right. Cindy LJ.
She says love is love. Thank you.
Love is love.
LJ, yes? Cindy, LJ, LJ, Cindy?
Cindy with an LJ after her name, so we have, in case there's more than one Cindy.
It's Hex time, baby. No, actually, this is actually a good card. Hex being 6, which is the number of sides on the cube that you actually have here. But this, to me...
another heavy card. This is the Saturn kind of energy.
It is the Capricorn card, without doubt. But this dude is much maligned. But it's interesting. I want you to... What? I'm sorry. Well, you're the one who put the huge crystals on the table. See, I just wanted... Ladies and gentlemen, the jury... I'll get a rough time. I do, honest.
All right.
So anyway, listen. If you can see in his hand here, of course you do. We want to be together. He's got this gig going on with the hand, the Leonard Nimoy Live Long and Prosper kind of thing. Well, it's a little known fact that Leonard Nimoy saw that and he used it for the Live Long and Prosper thing for Spock. But when he was a kid and at synagogue, he saw that. And this is where everybody's supposed to have their eyes shut and their head bowed. And this is like one of those really sacred bits where the rabbi is acknowledging the sanctity of the human womb from which all life comes. That which gives form to force, if you will. And what's going on here, the divine flash is coming down the tree of life. This dude is Lucifer. The bringer of light, Lux, and Lux means light only of two things, not an electric lamp or anything like that, but the light of a star or the light of the human soul. Ooh, fancy that. So he's bringing that force, if you will, into form, which is kind of we become imprisoned, we become enchattled in this physical form. The force is contained. It's not imprisoned is perhaps the wrong word, but it's kind of showing that. But understand these two people, which are incidentally the lovers, they could just lift those chains off their necks if they wanted to.
That's exactly right. You are not bound.
You're not bound at all.
Again,
you're
this theme of feeling
free,
stuff, but you're not.
You're not free, but you're not bound. But life would be pretty shitty if we didn't actually have a life. And so, although the cost of living is high, it still remains popular. It's just no. I think you need to really focus on the joys of life a little bit, and the wonder of actually being alive, and the pleasures that we can have, the sensory pleasures. These are good things. But this is a kind of cool card. You're not stuck. Yeah. And if fear is playing too big a part in your life, understand that you have a misunderstanding what fear's about. Fear's there to keep you alive, remember? That's its function. That's what it does. So think about that, and don't feel the fear, or don't give in to the fear, but more sort of
let it motivate you.
Yeah, let it press home how important life is, and really live Live, it's good. You know, this is a good thing. So yeah, and there are some lessons here. It's a heavy card. This I could talk about this for a week, but we don't have a week. But I quite like this card. I have to be honest. I do.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a Saturn card. I love Saturn. I have to say.
Capricorn energy, Saturn, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
All right. So I'm up next with Ashley Rose.
Well, hello, Ashley Rose.
And then Tammy will be the last one tonight.
Apparently, we made Sparky laugh. I don't know. That's probably you because I've no sense of humour.
All right,
Very
Ashley
boring,
Rose.
mate.
Okay. You know, we've been talking a lot about Groundhog Day, and you might be feeling a little bit like Groundhog Day. And sometimes we kind of experience the same feeling over and over again. And you may well have been hurt in the past more than once, and possibly by more than one person. But what I'd like to point out is even though you've got all these wounds, you know, you're not behind a wall where no one can reach you. You've come out in front of the wall, and the wall is protecting all of the things that belong to you. Like the wall is a boundary, and you're saying that not everyone is going to just pass through there. And now you actually have a wand in your hand that you're going to use as, you know, a weapon if you have to hold your boundaries. So I think that, you know, lesson will be repeated until learned. And once you've learned the lesson, it's easier to hold a boundary. So for you, Ashley, I think this is about communicating, not getting lost behind a wall, still being open to meeting new people and allowing new people in, but remembering what you're protecting and keeping that boundary. So I hope that helps. Yeah. Cindy, you're welcome. And Eileen, we're on the last card of the night, so you're joining us when we're just about to close. But basically, you just come on, you say, hi, can I have a card? You can leave a topic if you want, and then we'll pull a card for you. We try to do this once a month. It's usually the third or fourth Wednesday. All right. So last card is for Tammy.
Tammy.
Tammy, and she's a Sag. And there's.
I like Sages.
It's actually just a please pull a card for me kind of thing.
There you go. I pulled it, and thank you very much. Good night. Oh, do you want to know what's on it? Ha ha! The High Priestess card. Now listen, nice. I've been berated many times about holding this in the wrong place so people can't see it.
Well, if you hold it behind the camera,
well,
there you go. They can see it now.
I was holding it before there.
Awesome.
You're looking at things in delay.
Okay.
I spoke about this card earlier. I alluded to it whilst talking about somebody else's card. High Priestess. She's learned a lot. But she's learned that as you teach, so you learn. Ooh, hang on a minute.
As you teach, so you learn.
She has learned that.
Ah.
And she's also learned that she doesn't know as much she thought but she now knows there are things she doesn't know.
Well, the more answers you get, the more questions there are. That's for sure.
She's definitely cognizant of the fact that the concept of God is way too big to fit in one religion. I mean, she's got, if you will, it could be the equal arm cross on her chest or the Christian crucifix. She has the Torah in her lap, the first 5 books of the Old Testament. She is the Garden of Pomegranates, the Kabbalah positioned behind you, which is, you know, Judaic faith, if you will, or certainly early Judaic mysticism. The pillars of the Temple of Solomon, Boaz and Yakin. At her feet here, she's either perhaps drawn down the moon, or the moon has been drawn down. Well, this could also be symbolic of the crescent of Islam as well. So, and above her head, not to forget, is the symbol of the triple goddess as well. So there's an awful lot going on in this one simple card, and yet she knows much, but she knows there is much she does not know, and she knows that as she teaches, she also learns. So this, I think, is a card for you very much about personal development and revisiting areas that perhaps you visited before, but seeing them in a different light. Because you only see, honestly, from where you're standing. We don't have the ability to see from where we're not standing. You know, we are, where we are is what defines our frame of reference, if you will. So only by moving further down the path and looking back, or, you know, further up the hill and looking back where you were, can you actually see things in a different perspective. But I think it's very much is a period of great enlightenment for you, and quite an excellent card, I have to say.
All right.
All right.
So to answer a couple of people about when we have them, once a month, it's usually the third Wednesday. But we decided to do it this month, the night before Thanksgiving, because we thought a lot more people might be home.
Yeah.
And able to see it.
Certainly less people are going to be down the pub this year.
We do it from 5:30 to 7 o'clock, and we usually do somewhere between 30 and 40 readings in that time. And sometimes we'll have a guest reader. One of the other readers at the shop will come and join us, and there'll be all three of us working on questions.
That was in the days before social distancing.
Yeah, in the days before social distancing. And thank you to everybody who showed up. Don't forget, shameless plug.
Oh,
We still have quite a few copies of our book. If you don't have one yet, we'd love you to get
great!
one.
It's a great gift, and let us know. We'll sign it for you. Great gift for somebody. If,
It would make a great gift for somebody who wants to get on the path. And
it doesn't suck.
Even if you are downsizing your holiday, there's an awful lot you can be thankful for.
Absolutely.
And let's all work together to really bring in the age of Aquarius and, peace, love, and rock and roll, people.
Spread the love. That's what we need to do.
Spread the love, not the virus.
Spread the love, not the virus. Absolutely.
Spread the love,
Yes,
not
we'll
the
be doing another live chat. Yes, it's good that we got ourselves on Facebook. I've been telling Lisa this as well. On Facebook, on YouTube. It's been a while since we actually did a live broadcast on YouTube, so we're going to try and be mindful to do more live stuff on YouTube as well, because
we do a lot of Facebook lives.
Yeah,
we do
do.
the box openings and store walkarounds and stuff like that on Facebook. But unfortunately, Anton is dealing with an old barefoot hippie who technology is not my friend. Think globally, act locally. Just like the sign in the hallway that we've had for
how to build a global village.
Community. Yeah.
And we are like that.
All right, guys, be safe.
We love you. Thank you so much. A very, very happy Thanksgiving. And
we'll see you again
we'll
before
see you very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We will.
All right.
So thank you so very much.
Thank you.
And have an amazingly wonderful day. I am